Our world is threatened by terrorism, wars, killings, and various vices.
Its effects are mostly felt by women and girls.
Peace and security is a collective responsibility as it concerns women, girls, and boys. Join OneUp
on Women's Voices for Peace every Tuesday at 3 p.m.
on Women Radio WFM 91.7 as we engage on issues of women, peace, and security.
On Women's Voices for Peace
on Women Radio WFM 91.7.
Like the moon and the sun, she is worth more than gold. Like the stars in the sky, she is worth more than diamond. She is worth more than silver. Special kind of woman. Oh yeah. Imama ya bwawa ya Ngozi Chukwu nke ya. She's a virtuous woman. Makanezi nwanyi dị ụkọ. Oh yeah. Imama ya bwawa ya. Yeah. Ngozi Chukwu nke ya. No. She's a virtuous woman. Makanezi nwanyi dị ụkọ. She is very strong, a woman of dignity. She is prayerful, a woman of substance. She is so blessed, her beauty na evidence. Ogoni dima na kunu dia niru. Obidia, yeah. Ugebo yibonwano, no. Wanyi manaria, onyomamo. Simuji sike nolo, emesi ogadima. Imama ya baya, yeah. Ngozi Chukwu nke ya. Baby mo, she's a virtuous woman. Makanezi nwanyi dị ụkọ. Imama ya baya, Ngozi Chukwu nke ya.
There's something so calming about this song by Flavor, Virtuous Woman. It's 6 minutes past 3. It's time for Women Voices for Peace on Women Radio 91.7. My name is Kiki Mordi, and as earlier announced, Women of 1325 has now become Women's Voices for Peace right here on Women Radio 91.7. And of course, I won't be doing this alone. I have my co-host in the studio.
Yes,
Good
I'm right
afternoon.
here. Good afternoon, Kiki.
All right. So, introduce yourself. Tell us.
Yes, my name is Oludolapo Adewale. I'll be co-hosting the program. Welcome to Women Voices for Peace.
All right. And today we will be talking on women's economic empowerment and peace building. A lot of times we fail to see the correlation between women's economic empowerment and peace building, and that's exactly what we're going to be talking about today. And I'm not alone in the studio. We joined over the phone by our guest, Mercy Bello Abu. She is a global convener, Entrepreneurs Platform Initiative, that is EPI. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
And thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
The United Nations, through various resolutions, has recognized the disparate impact of violent conflict on women. It has highlighted the fact that generally women have been left out of peace processes, reconstruction and stabilization efforts. They recognize the imperative for the full and equal participation of women at all levels, ranging from conflict resolution, conflict prevention, I beg your pardon, to post-conflict reconstruction, peace and security. These resolutions, amongst a host of others, frame the Women, Peace and Security agenda. Women's Voices for Peace is is that radio program that hopes to attain female gender inclusivity, protection and equality. And on that note, today on Women's Voices for Peace, we'll be discussing women's economic empowerment and peace building. And of course, doing this with me is Mercy Bello Abu, Global Convener, Entrepreneurs Platform Initiative, EPI. And, well, we know that women's economic activity not only contributes to durable peace, but a greater female participation in the workforce. And it often provides the status and network needed for, insertion into long-term participation, also into the political sphere. In short, it's the bedrock for human rights.
Yeah.
So how can we economically empower women the right way?
Thank you very much for that question. I'm happy to be here joining you live.
Thank you.
Empowering women economically. I keep asking is a lot of looking at in terms of how do you put it now? I've asked this question severally. How do we empower women economically? For most of us, bearing in mind that most of these things have to do with skills in terms of, what are the opportunities available to us in the first place? So if we are going to empower women economically, it means that we as women, we have to be active participants. We have to be willing to be empowered economically. And it's never been an issue going way back in terms of women being empowered economically. Because for most times, like you said in your intro, we are like the bedrock of the workforce. So how is it now that most times in the most decision-making platform that we are missing, it means that there's a gap.
Okay.
If we say women have been economically empowered, or we are in the process of economically empowering women, we now come in the major sectors of the economy, our voices are not heard. So for these questions to be answered, it means that we need to go back to the drawing board. Maybe we are missing it somewhere. Is it that in terms of what we know as women is not helping us to project who we are as individuals? In terms of the economy, I keep telling my women, if as a woman we do not have the basics, I keep referring to the basics. How do I generate funds? How do I do my business? What are the skills that are available that I can leverage on to be an economically empowered woman? And this has become more imperative now with the situation in the country that is like an uphill task for the let's say the head of the home to be able to provide for the family. And as I will always say, an empowered woman is a woman that has a voice. If I'm not empowered, no matter how gifted or whatever it is, I won't be reckoned with. And for our women to realize this, then we need to start putting all these things in place to have these basic skills and opportunities that are available to us, to leverage on them to begin to live a more gender-sensitive environment.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
All right.
It's still WFM 91.7 and check your time, it's 12 minutes past the hour of 3. The phone lines are open right now. You can call us on 07000 917 917 or you can also call us on 0902 562 5455. You can call us on those numbers and definitely we'll pick your call.
Okay, so almost 13 years have passed since the Security Council adopted Resolution 1325 on women, peace and security. Now, while achievements have been made since then, much more needs to ensure that women participate in peace negotiations. And not just that, they shape peace agreements to ensure the full participation of women in the society.
In the society, yeah.
Yeah. So, without women participation in peace negotiations, what could be the end result, to this part of the world, in Nigeria?
In Nigeria, fantastic. Peace building, as we are aware, is the foundation for creating sustainable human security and equitable development in countries emerging from conflict most times. So it's no brainer that most of our women in Nigeria would definitely be part of the peace building culture. So because women are half of every community, because we are more like maybe 50% of the population. So it's imperative that women are encouraged to be part of this peace building. And also looking at the following points, women are like the central caretakers of the family. We are the major caretakers. So if we are involved in peace building, it helps the society at large. And because women are excluded most times from public decision making, we find out that they tend to be more exclusive instead of being inclusive in our decision making. And we need to be inclusive, yes. Because most times they are not reckoned with, because we feel, take care of the house chores, do this and all that. But bearing in mind that women themselves, we are successful as peace builders, because we can be, in terms of, we are not maybe that peaceful with what they are thinking, because they are the weaker, they propose weaker, or whatever they say that they are the weaker sex, that they cannot be peace builders. But because of what we bring to the table, in terms of our intuition, in terms of the fact that we are able to operate from both sides, we can reason with whatever it is, and also can bring peaceful resolution to the table. So the women being part of the peace building process is something that is encouraged, because we have the capacity for both violence and also for peace.
All right, thank you. Thank you very much. 15 minutes past 3. If you are just joining us, this is Women Voices for Peace. I am Kiki Mordi. I'm not alone in the studio. I have Oluwadolakpo Adewale in the studio with me. And of course, we have joining us via phone our guest for today, Mercy Bello Abu, the Global Convener, Entrepreneurs Platform Initiative, EPI. And we have been discussing the economic empowerment of women. We've been discussing women's economic empowerment and peace building. Phone lines are still open. Reach us on 07000 917 917 or 09025625455. Send us a text or a WhatsApp message 070-317-56537. Let us know what your thoughts are. What do you think the correlation of the economic empowerment of women and peace building are? Do you have any examples we can build on? Do you have any experiences in your locality? Call us up and let's have this conversation. It's an important discussion to be had, and let's have it once and for all. Okay, so back to you now, Mercy. How exactly can women's economic empowerment foster peace building? People don't seem to see the correlation. Can you highlight how it helps for us?
Okay. Thank you very much for that question. To answer that, I'm going to relay a life experience, something that has happened in this part of where we reside in the South.
Okay.
It's been a bit of a volatile situation in terms of the IOCs and all the foreign having conflict and all that. Mostly they will tell you, we've settled your men, we've done this, that they've settled the communities, and the youth are still not at peace. So we have a bit volatile in this part of the nation. So there was a particular one that one of our women, a very learned one, led a delegation of women to meet with most of these IOC. Some of them were in attendance. And what they said was, we've settled the men, because they felt they didn't want to have that interaction, because they are just women. What are they coming to They don't have any major role to play in peace building or to make peace in terms of because they felt they were not economically empowered. They don't have a voice. So how did it turn out? At the end of the day, they were able to broker peace, and they were able to achieve to a major extent what most of the male folk could not. Because they documented everything in the community. Look at it, because once there's no peace in the community, the women suffer. They cannot farm. They can't do the basic things that they normally would do.
And that means agriculture will suffer as well.
Agriculture will suffer as well. Okay. Because we have it over here, because that is what I do. I go to most of these communities to speak with them, because the soil, they can't plant because of the degradation and all that. Okay. And for most of these women, the source of livelihood has been deprived. They cannot fend for themselves. So we look out for alternatives for them to be able to feed their families. All right. And when these women got there and they were able to present it, it ended in a fantastic, in an amicable way. That at the end, what the male folk couldn't really achieve in that community, the women were able to achieve it. They came not because they wanted war. They came to broker peace. And they listened to them because they presented facts. So it's possible for women to be active participants in peace building in nations, especially knowing that they bring in the different perspectives of not just being greedy, because once the women most times are involved, it's not about themselves. They want for the youth, they want for the community, they want for their husbands, for their father, for the community at large. So we had a very successful one at that, concerning that particular issue. Okay. So it relates very well to this question that we are answering, this our discuss today on empowerment. Because for most of the women that went there, if they were not economically empowered and enlightened, they wouldn't know their rights to be able to say we can broker peace in our community.
Yeah. That's interesting. Sometimes in political statements when they're campaigning, or even civil societies, they all talk about women economic empowerment. Now, let's break it down. What exactly is women's economic empowerment from you, like a stakeholder? What do you mean by that?
Like for me, breaking it down is basically a woman that is engaged. You are engaged either in the corporate world, or you have skills that you are leveraging on to provide for your community, for yourself and for your community. That is an empowered woman economically. Because for most of it, these women, we've empowered them, we've given them opportunity. Like I'll tell women, most time I discuss with my women, I tell them, I was speaking at a conference the other day, women in governance, and I told them, I said, for women, we keep saying they didn't allow us, they didn't give us. Nobody's going to give you power. Power is not given, power is taken. So for every woman that is empowered, for every woman that aspires to be empowered, you need to engage yourself. You need to put hands to work. You need to bring value to the table. You won't say because I'm a woman, I sit there and I don't want to push myself. I don't want to add value in terms of building capacity, in terms of learning one skill. And as you know, most of our funds right now, it's as if the radar is being on women right now. A lot of women entrepreneurs, we have so many intervention funds, a lot that way, but because of lack of knowledge, they are not leveraging on this. So an empowered woman is a woman that is able, through skills and opportunities, be able to develop your community.
And information.
And information is critical. Information is key. And applied information, because most of us, we have a lot of information. We tell you, the society, then we have a lot of excuses that they do make why they are not.
Well, with information, sometimes there isn't access. There is lack of access. You may be informed, but you don't have access to these things.
Yes. That is why the life of my organization, the Entrepreneurs Platform Initiative, is out there to put this information, to let them know that you can leverage on these organizations. You can come out. You are not alone. We are all in it. I keep telling women, no one is going through the same, like, mine is peculiar. It's the same. It's the same everywhere. It's the same issues. The fact that, okay, I'm a woman, they will not want to hear my voice, but I have to at least prove myself before I'm reckoned with. So it's the same issue everywhere. But how do we make a difference? You only can make a difference when you decide that this, regardless of what it is, against all odds, I'm going to make it work. Because there are so many odds against us, so many odds. But in spite of these odds, how have I been able to distinguish myself, to set myself apart from the rest? So once as a woman you'll be able to distinguish yourself, then it means that you are standing up, not willingly or knowingly or unknowingly, for other women to be able to leverage on you to grow.
All right. Thank you very much, Mercy. It's 23 minutes past 3. This is Women Voices for Peace, and today we are speaking on women's economic empowerment and peace building. Phone lines are still open. Call us up and let us know what your thoughts are on what we've discussed so far. Do you think women's economic empowerment has a role to play in peace building in our nation? Look at Nigeria, look at your locality. Is it important that we have empowered women to be able to combat violence in your locality? Call me up right now, 07000 917 917 or 090 256 You can also call me, send me a text or a WhatsApp message on 070 317 56537. And of course, we have our guest, the Global Convener Entrepreneurs Platform Initiative, that is EPI, Mercy Bello Apu. She has been graciously answering all of our questions regarding peace building and women's economic empowerment. Now, peace building process, it brings itself with a lot of challenges, but it also offers opportunities for post-conflict societies. We have a lot of examples. We can use Rwanda. Do you know some of these opportunities you can share with us? But before you answer, I think we have a call. Let's take this one. Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
What's your name and where are you calling us from?
Mr. Darlington speaking.
Mr. Darlington, good afternoon. Welcome to Women Voices for Peace.
Good.
Okay. Go ahead and make a contribution.
Except the Nigerian women gathered together the same way they gathered in Beijing. Remember the Beijing conference where the women gathered together and took a stand on issues concerning them in their different countries.
Yes.
And since that time till now, the word of the women folk have never been the same. Except Nigerian women take a cue from that Beijing conference. We men will continue to play divide and rule with them. Except they do that, it will be impossible. I'm not trying to patronize them.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much.
The men folk will continue to play them. We are there not promised 35% by Buhari. Where is the 35% now? And all of them are sat and they are relaxed.
Okay. All right. So women need to take a stand, and as soon as possible. All right.
I remember the last administration, the wife of the president was always affirming the 35% affirmation and all that.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So responding to what Darlington has said, and also, some of the opportunities of post-conflict society. Let's start from responding to Darlington first of all.
Okay. I agree with him totally.
Okay.
We need to take a stand.
All right.
I always tell people, I say for women most times, because maybe the innate potential is not that we know what we carry. Bringing it together as a formidable force has always been an issue. We did it in Beijing and look at the outcome. Look at what happened. So we can't do it again even.
But are you saying that it hasn't happened in Nigeria? I mean, I would like to hear from women, because as much as we want to say, yes, take a stand, I know that there are obstacles to that. And I would like to hear from Nigerian women out there. Like, what is stopping you, as a woman listening to me right now, what stops you from standing up, against the government? What are your fears? What are the things you face every day? You can call us up and talk about it. And I don't know how alien it is in Nigeria for women to stand up and stick for their rights. I know we had the About Women's protests. The protests, people try to make it look like a riot, but it's a protest. That's women standing up for themselves.
And even in the Southwest, it happened like that.
Okay, so yes, if you're a woman, do well to call me up. I'd like to know exactly how unsafe. Like, that could be one. Safety could be an issue.
Yeah.
So phone lines open 07000 917 917 or 090-256-25455. Apologies for cutting you short. But also, to add to that, do let us know some of the post-conflict society opportunities that are available to us.
Okay.
All right, go ahead.
Okay. Yes. No, I wanted to repeat that same question. You said that it has happened in Nigeria. A lot of women that they've taken a stand. A lot of us have not been quiet. Like I will always say, when you are in lone voice, you are shouting in the way that there's nobody going to hear you. So we need to come together. We need to work together.
Okay.
We need to work together. We have various NGOs, diverse. Because of what we carry, we can multitask. So we don't channel everything to just one particular area. So we are going to be respected and listened to in peace building and also economically empowering our women.
All right.
Then as a voice, we need to come together. That's why I love what you're doing. When I heard that it was a women radio, I said, wow, fantastic, because I didn't know we had the women radio. So
Thank
you are the voice of the women. So congratulations. So you are going to speak forth for everyone that has this issue, that you have a program, something to do to help propagate the agenda. For women, it's time to come together as a force, as a formidable force, to lend voices to what is happening. The 35%, we don't want to go into that was promised and all that. It's still emerging. We are praying that it does happen. But if we do not take them up on it, and we keep robbing,
accepting,
and making them feel as if, you've tried, even for adding up to 15 or 10, then it's not going to happen. You promise 35, then let's have 35.
Okay.
Even if it means that I'm not going to get it, let's have 35. Then going back to the peace building of what are the opportunities?
Yes.
Definitely there are opportunities when we go for peace, that we are involved in mitigating, trying to get a more conducive environment. Businesses definitely will thrive, and knowing that most women are mostly recipients of this, because in any peaceful environment means that if you have little businesses that you are doing in terms of skill, it will grow the economy. But once it's not peaceful, then they cannot fend for their family. And for most of these war-torn areas, you see that the women are most hit, the women and the youth. That is why they say avoid war, because at the end of the day, women are the greatest beneficiary, or the ones that victims of the post or the pre-conflict or war era. So in terms of opportunities, we haven't. That is why it's imperative. That's why it's imperative for women to be involved in peace building, because it's part of what affects them in terms of producing and bringing out, and the skills they cannot be able to utilize their skills. Even if you've been trained, then you can't use them because it's not going to be productive for you. So I see no reason why women should not be active participants in peace building. It's key.
All right. Thank you. That's quite interesting. Thank you so much, Mercy.
All right, check your time. It's 28 minutes to the hour of 4. This is still WFM 91.7. The phone lines are still very much open. You can reach us on 07000 917 917, or you can call us on 0902 562 5455. The WhatsApp line is still very much open. Send your messages to 0703 1756 537. And let's get the conversation going. Mercy, you talked about women as peace builders. Now, how can we improve that particular role of women as peace builders? We're targeting communities this time around. You talked about you giving talks in different communities. Now, how can we merge this and make sure that the role of women as peace builders is improved on?
Yes, like I will always say, is to create an environment. We must develop capacity, because if recently we organized a training for mediation and conciliation, all part of resolving conflict. That women are not active participants in this, and they feel that it's not our domain.
Yes.
Because when you don't know the purpose of a thing, the abuse is women. If women feel that peace building is not what we are supposed to be part of, is dominated or is solely for men, then we have issues with that. But when as women we come to realize that if we don't have peace in our environment, in our society, then our businesses, our children, they can't go to school because we are affected mostly. So we now know that we need to play more role in saying that we have a peaceful resolution. And for the fact that the skills that we talk about for women, because basically when we are talking about peace building, economic empowerment,
yes,
we tend to go towards skills, that opportunities to be able to transform and bring forth produce that will help to push the economy.
Okay.
And what you are aware right now, most of the SMEs and entrepreneurs, we have the largest number. Statistics have shown that Nigeria, we have the largest number of entrepreneurs.
Nigerian women.
Yeah, Nigerian women.
Yes.
So it's surprising that how has this helped us as a nation? So we need to channel this properly. If we come for capacity building, trainings and all that, most times you still find a struggle to see most women in attendance. So we need to break this. We need to go for more knowledge. We need to go for, in terms of empowering ourselves through knowledge, because once you have knowledge about it, it has been demystified, then you can act on it. That is what empowerment does. Being empowered financially, being empowered in terms of knowledge, because it means that you are no longer acting in the very periphery. You are at the end of affairs. You are being listened to. You have a voice. If you do not go for skill, you don't go for knowledge, you are not developing yourself. So how do you know how to play in major decision making?
Exactly.
Yes.
Okay.
But most of us, we see the rural women, we say, oh, we go back. Why are they called the rural women? They have experience, they have expertise. But because in terms of information that is available to them, they are not opportune to go to most of the areas that we can go to. They say, oh, they are the rural women. So for this, you be surprised that when it comes to gathering, when it comes to helping women to push, they are even more at the forefront. Yes.
Okay.
So it means that we as women, let's work together, have our voice collectively, and we'll be heard.
Okay, so from what you said, I just, remember when Melinda Gates tweeted, I think that was in 2015, that 41% of women are entrepreneurs in Nigeria. And that was in comparison to a whole other countries were topping the list. But when we look at the amount of women that receive loans from financial institution, it's 2%. 2%. The rest comes from family and friends, So while we have a growing number in sub-Saharan Africa and Nigeria, to be precise, of women that are going into entrepreneurship, trying to be empowered, do we have a structure or a system that enables them, that helps them, that that is a catalyst for them? Are we creating a more conducive environment for the protection of women? Not just their protection, their empowerment. Has it been achievable? And if it hasn't, what do you think the factors responsible for this are?
Yes, we are not saying it's been achieved, but we are in the process.
Okay.
But us as an organization, we are women buyers, and we have a lot of women under us. And most of them that come is all about funding. How can I sustain business? How can I keep my business running? So we are always on the lookout for areas and opportunities to help them grow their businesses. I know of so many banks that we work with. We don't want to mention names. They have special funds for women that some will have under a single-digit interest. When we attended most of these trainings, that majority of our women are not aware that they have
of these
special
opportunities.
Special funds allocated. Some running for 10 years, then you have like a 3-year moratorium before you start paying back. And these are all geared towards helping the entrepreneur, the female entrepreneur especially. So we can leverage on these opportunities to grow our business.
Okay.
And for most of us, we know as women sometimes, we do not pay the cost. We start, then we start getting distracted. We say, oh, this one is not. And for as entrepreneur, your staying power helps you to own your space.
Okay. Speaking on that, I think the presidential candidate, I think that was Atiku, he mentioned that, he has given out soft loans to women and men in the past. He's big on agriculture. And he says from his experience, a huge percentage of women pay back.
Yeah.
Because that's the what's the word? That's the ideology that we have. Like women don't pay back. But yeah, of course, exactly. That's what when we look at the numbers, it turns out that women do pay back after they've been given these loans. But away from that, now let's talk about creating a secure environment. How secure is a woman? How protected is a woman that is going about her business in our country, Nigeria?
That's a multi-billion-naira question.
Okay.
In terms of being secure, we know that security definitely is an issue, and for most of us, the women are the worst victims. I was just speaking to a lady this afternoon. She was telling me, because I called her, and she said she didn't have my number. I said, what happened to your phone? She said, you won't believe it. And they placed my phone. So we have a lot of challenges as women in terms of running our businesses. The insecurity everywhere, and we are always victims of most of the policies. Once there are policies in place to combat crime, and women are informed from, they're like, yes, the women are targeted most times because they believe that they cannot fight back. So in terms of security, we still have a long way to go. We pray for an enabling environment because it's definitely affecting business. Because when you don't have a secured environment, there's no way businesses will thrive. So that's why whenever we have the opportunity, we appeal to government to try and see how we can combat this issue of insecurity in the nation. It's everywhere, and especially where we are. Most of us know how most of the South are. So it's something we are dealing with every day, and we pray that something is done urgently. But in terms of business, it definitely affects business. You find out that, I remember those days that women that used to own supermarkets and all that, they would say, no, you can't come out because you are a target. Yes, the target, so you are hiding and all that, then you can't drive alone, you feel because they will pick on. So it's always it's an ongoing thing, and we live in that fear constantly.
Even people would complain about the tax collectors, even government officials coming to rough handle them.
Exactly. Harassment.
Sexually and otherwise.
Exactly. That was what I dwelt on the other time. We had a very major issue with that on harassment and all that. And women are most times the victim. They will come, the very poor petty leaders that are trying to fend for their family, they do not work, and they come, maybe the business is not even up to 10,000. Then you have the collectors that will come, agents, they will tell you they are from this place, they are from this place. Oh, you have to pay 1,000 for display, you have to do this, and when you can't play, they confiscate this product that this is the source of her livelihood.
Yes.
And we've been on that for a very long time. That they cannot be deprived of the source of their life, because if you've made an enabling environment, there's no way that they will come there and make a mess. Because let's have a more structured payment system. That we've been channeling that for a very long time. We need to know what is the levy, because they know that they can't speak for themselves. They come, they do all manner, they beat them. You need to see, sometimes it's a very pitiable sight.
All right. Thank you so much. Just to recap on the stats that I spoke about earlier, that was in 2016. Atiku Abubakar tweeted that in Africa, especially Nigeria, women make better grassroots entrepreneurs. They also have deeper impacts in their communities. He goes on to add that they founded their microfinance bank to lend out to local people. Men took the money and married new wives. Women repaid 90% of the times. They started Essential program, converting waste products, and it became profitable. 95% of the participants were women. Women were making so much money, and basically from his experience and data, he sees that, okay, the loan program he added that found out that when men got their loans, the whole village had, women quietly went about their business. So he adds on, there's layers and layers to this conversation. He adds on like how what input is versus output. Women trying, we're not saying that women are better at entrepreneurship than men, but we're saying that women are trying twice as hard in a community that is, offering them half as much, and their security is still not ensured. And their place in peace building is still not ensured. That's exactly what we're talking about. Okay, so 16 minutes to 4. This is, if you're just joining us, well, you are listening to Women Voices for Peace right here on Women Radio 91.7. Our topic for today is women's economic empowerment and peace building. We're not alone in the studio. Oh, my name is Kiki Moidi, by the way, and Oluwadolakpo, my co-host, is here. Oluwadolakpo Atewale. Yes, she has been quite brilliant here on the program. And of course, we have our guest that has been dropping all the nuggets. We've been listening to all afternoon. Mercy Bello Abu. She's the Global Convener Entrepreneurs Platform Initiative, EPI. They've been doing amazing work, in providing a platform for entrepreneurs, especially women in our society.
Okay, we're still getting the conversation going with Mercy right now. Now, let's talk about leadership positions. We know that women are there. We have women that have a say in leadership positions. But the question is, have they done enough to empower their fellow women? It elicits
the
laughter.
big question.
Yeah.
Okay.
There was a time, an incident just came to mind when we talked about, this was about the last, or the previous administration. I remember when one of the legislators stood up and she was trying to put the bill for early marriage, that we heard that 11 years was the consent and all that, so young. And I watched the proceedings that day. I expected most of it, because when she stood up and because number is an issue there, we are always outnumbered. So for me, I felt that the women there would have stood up to say, okay, we are with her on this. And she stood
solidarity.
There wasn't any solidarity. She was just, I was like, this is painful. This is pathetic. In terms of leadership, will I say the women, because that has always been the issue. For the young ones, they always feel we don't have good role models. We don't have enough role models. We don't have mentors that are willing to help push us to the next level.
Yes.
And for us as women leaders, we need to start addressing this. If you want us as women to be taken seriously, for us to take our place, then we need to start building the young ones. We shouldn't see them as competitors. Okay. We shouldn't see them as people that, they don't understand what I had to go through. You went through that for you to be a pace setter, so that others will not have to go through what you went through to get to where you are. And for most of these women that have been opportune to be in leadership, when the light goes off and you see them much later in life, you ask them, what would you have done differently? I would have built more people. I would have built more. So let it not be a story. Yes, because for most of them, you read their biography like, because I was too consumed with building my career, because women will pull you down. So we don't want any of them to come close, because everybody is trying to take your space, because women they want to shine, and they don't want any other one to shine. But in all of this, for every woman that you have set her to be a leader, leadership is responsibility. Leadership is influence. And as Maya Angelou will say, that for every woman that stands up, whether you know it or not, you're indirectly standing up for every woman that cannot say our own voice. So as women leaders, we need to start developing this.
Okay.
We shouldn't feel threatened. We shouldn't feel, because you are there for a reason. You are there for, and leadership is influence. Leadership is influence. It has to be the fact that I'm influencing the younger generation, I'm influencing my contemporaries, I'm influencing my colleagues, so that together we can have a formidable voice. That's always been the issue. We are not building the younger one. And they all struggle, and everybody feels, I struggle to get to where I am. I struggle to get to this place, so I need to protect my space, I need to protect mine. That is not helping us as women.
That's interesting.
Thank you.
Interesting. In case you're just joining us, this is Women for Peace, Voices for Peace, and this is WFM 91.7. The phone lines are still very much open. Call us on 07000 917 917 or on 0902 562 5455. You can send WhatsApp messages or text messages on 0703 175 6537. We still have Mercy right here in online, and she's answering our questions. Okay, Mercy, now let's look at the way forward. After all said and done, what's the way forward, and how can we help to ensure that women's economic empowerment ascertains peace building?
Yes. The way forward, we cannot overemphasize or dwell too much on it. It's always been about developing oneself. Women need to come out. We shouldn't get too complacent, because the society has put us in a particular place. We are not saying we are competing. You have your place as a woman. We are not competing. There's no basis for comparison. We are built differently. We have our strengths. We have what we can bring to the table. So let's utilize our strengths and talk less of our weaknesses. Let's not sweat the small stuff. Let's, as women, go for knowledge, acquire knowledge, join organizations. You can't be a loner. You can't be a lone voice. You won't be heard. But if you are part of an organization, then you have a voice, because collectively you can present. You can present your petition. You can come forward to say, no, we are against this, we are against it. With a lot of rape issues happening everywhere now, you see most of the organizations coming together. If as an individual you're chatting, nobody is going to listen. But when we came together, the women force, you saw what happened. The government took note. So we can do that even in peace building, in economic empowerment. We can all collectively come together to say, no, we want this, we want this, we want this, and it will be done. Because once you start saying we are not going violent, there are ways that we look at what happened. There wasn't any violence, and yet they listened. So, and the world of social media and all that has really helped to project this. So we can also leverage on it to see positively, leverage on the positive aspect of it, not on the negative aspect of it. So women should don't stay alone. Don't feel that, the world, because we have challenges. Yes, women, we know that we have so many things dragging for our attention. We want to see things done for us, even for the children and all that. So how can we move forward? Get more knowledge, get more involved, and don't feel I'm not them. There's no them. For every woman that decides to stand up, you are standing up for the rest of the women. So for each and every one of us that decides, I want to make a better life, I want to see how the next generation will not have to go through this. Eventually we'll get there. We will get there. But it's taking time, but eventually. But let's make it a lot easier by genuinely wanting to build the younger generation, by genuinely working together collectively. Let's not hear this, women cannot work together, and they will scatter.
Let's demystify that.
Yes, let's demystify it. Let's come together knowing we are full of emotion. We cannot question that, we have it. But let's use it positively to grow our brand. As women, that when we talk, they want to listen and not do divide and rule like Mr. Darlington said, because it's there. That is what they do. Because for every organization, you will see your fellow woman will be against you and work with the guy to make sure that they hospital you. Because we feel that, but we don't need to do that. We are strong individually. We are strong collectively. So let's bring our strength together so that as women, we can start changing the narrative. It's possible.
All right. I love that. Thank you so much, Mercy, for all the insights you have given today. And more discussion of women's empowerment would be complete. However, without a reference to the role of education. Education has a huge role to play in this process. Education is a catalyst for achieving equal participation in society and achieving women's integration into long-term economic recovery. International support for the delivery of education and training programs, particularly in post-conflict societies, is key to ensuring that women's economic empowerment is sustained in the long term. Now, it's against this backdrop that Women Voices for Peace have come to provide a framework for the protection of women and inclusion of gender perspective in peace-building activities. Women Voices for Peace is sponsored by WANEP, West Africa Network for Peace Building, with support from the Norwegian Agency for Development Cooperation, NORAD. Women in Peace Building Network, WIPNET. Women Voices for Peace holds every Tuesday on Women Radio 91.7 by 3 p.m. And I'd like to say a big thank you to our guest. Unfortunately, we've lost connection with her, but would like to say a big thank you, Mercy Bello Abu, Global Convener, Entrepreneurs Platform Initiative, EPI, and to my able co-host, Oluwatolakwa Adewale. Thank you so much for doing this with me.
Thank you, Kiki.
And of course, we can't forget the producer, the producers, Kels Okezie, Blessing Kale, and Anthony Dalmeda. We can't demystify our position as women and our support for each other. We can prove to the world that women can work with women. My name is Kiki Mordi. Make it a date, same time next week on Women Radio 91.7. Good afternoon.
WFM 91.7.
WFM 91.7.